Thanks a lot for having me on the program. So this paper is about online debt crowdfunding, the idea that borrowers can access online credit platform to obtain financial resources to finance their loans. This platform have experienced quite astonishing growth rates in the recent past, and they also have been subject to an evolution of their business model. May move to a system which was known as peer-to-peer, where the platform only provides the basic infrastructure and gathers information about the borrower to be given to the lenders, but otherwise has no active role, into a system which we call marketplace these days, where the platform, yes, collects information about the borrowers, but also has an active role into the lending activity because it forms portfolio products of loans or loans posted on the platform itself and then are sold to lenders. So here the platform takes a more active role into the activity of intermediation. In the peer-to-peer model, notice there is no maturity transformation, as the lender always matches her preferred maturities to the loans that she is investing. Whereas in the marketplace model, it could be that you may have maturity mismatch. That is, the average maturity of the portfolio products can be shorter than the maturity of the underlying loans that are making the portfolio product. So the marketplace model is getting similar to the bank in the sense that the intermediaries have an active role in intermediation, but at the same time is not really quite a bank. There is an important difference. In the marketplace model, the lenders bears the liquidity risk, so in case the lenders wants to liquidate early the portfolio, is the one who bears the cost of early liquidation, whereas in a bank-like model, usually is a bank that bears the cost of early liquidation. I will give you more detail in the slides to come. So overall, our main question is what are the effects of this type of new business model on lenders, the platform, and credit provision, and how will the business model evolve. Before digging into the data and the model, let me give you 3 important facts about online debt crowdfunding. One of them we already talked about. There has been a shift from peer-to-peer to marketplace. Second, we partially talked about. So there is maturity mismatch in marketplace loan portfolios. So usually the loans underlying the portfolio have longer maturities than the portfolio themselves. Third, there has been a change in the lender population from more active, less risk-averse into less active and more risk-averse lender. Based on these 3 facts, we'll see we're going to construct a new structural equilibrium model, and we find that moving from the old peer-to-peer model into marketplace is raising lender surplus, the profits of the platform, and overall is increasing credit provision. Then we run a counterfactual. We basically transform the platform as is currently working as a marketplace model into bank-like model, where the platform itself is bearing the cost, the liquidity risk, the cost of early liquidation. And we will show that the bank-like model can be welfare increasing vis-a-vis marketplace under a certain set of conditions. So this type of study comes across with at least 3 empirical challenges. First of all, we need a counterfactual. We would like to compare platforms with different designs with a platform with another design. So we'd like to compare designs of platforms keeping constant everything else. And usually this is difficult because the adoption of a certain platform design is not random. Then we would like to assess the preferences of a lender, because the welfare that we'll have in our counterfactual by comparing a platform with a certain design with the same platform adopting another design, the welfare will depend on the ultimate preferences for lenders for maturities, interest rates, and the various characteristics of a loan, as well as liquidity risk. And usually these preferences tend to be unobservable, and they tend to evolve in average with the changes in the clientele. And then we would like to have good microdata to understand and quantify the misalignments between lender, platform, and borrower in terms of horizon, in terms of maturity preferences, because this will allow us to determine, to quantify the maturity mismatch and how severe is a possible liquidity risk. So for the first two empirical challenges, we are gonna resolve them, we are gonna tackle them by building up a structural model. In particular, we're gonna follow the industrial organization literature on demand estimations, and we are gonna nest alternative platform designs which will allow us to simulate various counterfactuals to compare the welfare properties on one design vis-a-vis welfare properties of another design. Then the model will also recover the lender preferences from the investment choices we observe from the lender themselves, so we can measure the surplus and we will take into account the heterogeneity of the lenders in the various counterfactuals. And then we are going to present and use a new data set where we have a universe of loans and loan applications of one of the Chinese leading marketplace platform, Rerendai. So, telling you more about the data, so Rerendai is the fifth largest platform in China in terms of turnover, which has about 360,000 borrowers, which borrow about $1,800 per, which have borrow about $1,800. We have about 350,000 lenders. And we observe about 380,000 loans, which the median amount is about $9,000. The maturity 36 months, a paying interest rate of almost 11%. And then the platform puts together about 5,000 portfolio products. So this is the activity of the platform, where it's basically gathering the loans, bundling them together, and creating these portfolio products that are sold to the investors. And here visually you can see the evolution. So the idea of the first fact I documented before, I told you before, the shift from direct loans or peer-to-peer into marketplace. So we see that the platform started to work around in 2011, and in the early years you see that the red bar fundamentally is dominant. That is, the early years the marketplace, the direct loan model, the peer-to-peer model was prevailing. Starting in 2012, the platform started to put together portfolio product, and you see that it radically shifted the business model into marketplace, where by 2014 is already the most dominant type of intermediation within the platform. Regarding the maturity mismatch, the second fact that I told you before. So when we look at the portfolio product, the median portfolio product altogether has a size of about $450,000 in total, whatever thing is put together by the platform. It has a maturity of 6 months, a target return of about 8.5%. It has 115 lenders which fill the portfolio products in about 11 hours. So regarding maturity mismatch, let me be visual also here. On the horizontal line, you will see have maturity ranges. On the vertical line, the amount of the average outstanding amounts per maturity. And let's start with the green bar that are the outstanding portfolio products that are offered to the lenders. You see here the maturity never goes above 24 months, and most of them are between 6 and 15 months. In red here now we have maturities of the underlying loans. And you see that most of these loans have maturities that go beyond 24 months and a sizable amount between 15 and 24 months. So at the end of the day, we see that the loans underlying the portfolio products have a longer maturities than the products themselves, which constitute a maturity mismatch, which in average is about 22 months, comparable to the maturity mismatch you observe in the banking sector for US banks, and of course exposes lender to this type of liquidity risk, because in case they want to withdraw their own investment, they need to they pay in a way the cost of early liquidation, so they can cash out only once their loans have been resold on the secondary market set up by the platform. There has been also an evolution about lenders. So lenders, first of all, there is a difference between lenders of direct portfolio, peer-to-peer lenders, and lenders who invest into marketplace. So marketplace lenders tend to be more diversified, their portfolio more diversified vis-a-vis direct lenders. And then they tend also to be safer because the portfolio marketplace investors have a default rate which is significantly lower than the portfolio of direct lenders. But also throughout time, lenders have been changing. They have become more diversified. So the HHI, which indicates the degree of diversification of the portfolio, basically halved between 2014 and 2016. And also default rate more than halved between 2014 and 2016. So lenders have become more diversified and they are holding safer bundles of loans within the platform. So how we're going to proceed into modeling marketplace or direct lending. Our model will have three main agents: the borrowers, the lenders, and the platform. The borrowers fundamentally post loans on the platforms and on the primary market, which fundamentally this is the market of new loans. And you will see we will also contemplate the possibility of a secondary market for loans. Remember that when a lender wants to cash out the investment before the loan goes to maturity, the loan is sold on the secondary market, which is set up by the platform itself. So then after the borrowers have a market for loans, we model the lender, which has always have a possibility to invest outside the platform. He has an outside option, but more importantly can invest into both the primary market and the secondary market for loans. In terms of equations, we are going to model this by writing down in indirect utility functions for direct loan lenders, where the utility function of investor depends on the returns that is going to get on loan category C. We are going to put together loan in categories which differentiate each other in terms of returns, maturity, and other conditions. For instance, the amount. We'll have a preference also for maturity of the loans and other characteristics of the loans. And fundamentally, gamma is our coefficient we are going to estimate, which determines the preferences of a lender for certain type of loans characteristics. Then the lender can also invest into portfolio products, and at the maturity of a portfolio product, the lender has to decide whether to roll over the product or to liquidate. If he liquidates, the underlying loans are sold on the secondary market, and here the lender bears the liquidity risk because he can cash out only after all the loans have been sold. And we model this by, again, indirect utility functions, where we have the lender has a preference for portfolio products, which depends on the characteristics such as returns and maturity of a portfolio product, and the alphas again determines the preferences of the lenders for the various characteristics, and these preferences will be different for lenders with different degree of activity and risk aversion in the platform, and the lender also has a preference for rolling over the investment or not. And using all these preferences, we come out with market shares, which basically determines for direct lenders and portfolio products, for direct loans and portfolio products, how much lenders are demanding of each loans and of each products. Then last but not least, we are going to model the platform, which takes loans both from the primary and the secondary markets and bundle them together to create a portfolio product, which again then is taken over by a lender. How does the platform bundles together portfolio products? It creates for each portfolio product K, call it, it creates a weights loan category C, and the weight of loan category C in portfolio product K will depend on the platform preferences on the interest rates paid on loan category C and the maturity of loan category C and other characteristics of loan category C. And beta R and beta M will give us the preferences for loan return and maturities. So the platform will maximize with profit function on the target return offered on the portfolio product, on the maturity mismatch which will characterize the portfolio product K, and where L is the total amount invested in the platform at time T, SP is the market share of portfolio product K, or better, the demand of the lenders for portfolio product K, which will be made by a sequence of a set of loan category Cs, each of them with a weight W. And for each category C, the platform will get an interest rate, will have a certain maturity, and will pay a marginal cost. Then we'll pay the cost of a portfolio product, that is how much return is given to the lender, and a fixed administrative cost. In terms of estimation, for the direct loans and the portfolio product, for the demand of direct loans and portfolio product, we will follow a logit approach a la Berry 1994, and we will allow, this is very important, that the preferences of our investors for certain characteristics of a loan or the portfolio product will depend on their degree of activities or risk aversion on the platform. Then we will estimate the rollover probability by just using a linear model, and we will resort back to the Berry 1994 type of approach, the logit approach, for estimating the portfolio weight that the platform gives in each loan category C. And just to give you some results, by looking at the preferences of the lenders, we see that lenders prefer higher yields or higher interest rates paid on the loans or the portfolio products, and even more so for investors in direct loans. Then we see that this is especially true for lenders that tend to be more active, for the top 5% of lender or more active lenders or the platform, which could be more experienced or less risk averse. Longer maturities are preferred for direct loan investors and not really for portfolio investors. And we see that in the average investor dislike liquidity risk, but this is less severe, this is less true for very active lenders. As for the platform portfolio choices, so what type of loans the platform likes to put into the portfolio products, the platform prefers loans which have lower interest rates and a bit longer maturity. It doesn't like loans with default, and it doesn't like loans to acquire loans from the secondary markets, but it rather takes loans from the primary market, which makes sense because loan of the primary market pays a fee, whereas the secondary market don't. Then we go into our counterfactual. How does marketplace credit compare, for instance, to peer-to-peer credit, the original model, and probably a new model, the bank-like credit? How do liquidity risk and lender risk aversion or lender activity on the platform affect the comparison? So we estimate an equilibrium model to find the counterfactual, and we'll focus on various portfolio characteristics again, and we're going to check the welfare effect on lenders, credit provision, and the platform profits. So fundamentally, we're going to change the profit function of the platform by taking in consideration the rollover risk. And in particular, for each portfolio product K in loan category C, we know that the platform is earning this amount of money absent liquidity risk from the profit function that I showed you before. Nothing changes if a rollover. Now the platform takes in consideration the rollover probability. If the rollover probability is equal to 1, nothing changes vis-a-vis the profit function we saw before. If the rollover probability is equal to 0, so there is no rollover, now the platform is taking the liquidity risk. It doesn't turn any profit on the proportion of a portfolio product that is not rolled over. And this happens for a number of sigma number of days, for a period number of days, and this can happen as many times as the portfolio product comes to maturity during the life of the loans. So these are the results of a counterfactual. So we observe that when compared to traditional peer-to-peer, both marketplace and bank-like increase the amount of credit volume in a quite important way. And there is a big increase in lender surplus, or again, when you compare peer-to-peer from marketplace and bank-like. And so, in a way, there are noticeable differences between the peer-to-peer model and the other two models. Then we're going to look at counterfactuals when we look at some sort of stress test scenarios. So we're going to increase the resale time from the average amount we observe on our platform, which is about half a day, to 30 days. This number, 30 days, is still reasonable because it's still below what the maximum amount you observe on R&I, which is 88 days, and also low to what some investors on another platform in the UK, funding circles, have been experiencing in the recent past of about 120 days. And we're going to compare the welfare properties of a marketplace and bank-like models with high or low shares of active lenders on the market, the lenders that are more experienced and possibly less risk-averse. So these are the results we're going to show you in a graph. So the red corresponds to the marketplace model, the green is the bank-like model where the platform bears the liquidity risk. On the left side of the pane you have the proportion of active and non-active investors we observe in the data. Here we are increasing the number of low active investors or more risk-averse investors. So when we compare marketplace to bank-like model, we see that under the bank-like model, the target returns that the platform offers on the portfolio product always goes down, is lower. This makes sense because in a way, by taking the liquidity risk, the platform is insuring the lenders, is making pay the price of insurance by lowering the returns it's offering to the lenders. There is not much of an effect on the maturity mismatch. By looking at other outcomes, in terms of lender surplus, we observe that lender surplus tend to decrease a lot into the marketplace model, and especially more when the average lender tend to be low active, and there is a larger proportion of low active lenders on the platforms. Little changes when we enter into a bank-like model, but that's because probably lenders really dislike to bear the liquidity risk, and we are happier to obtain lower returns offered by the platform, but at the same time having the platform to insure them. When we look at the amount lent, the total amount lent, we observe that the amount lent declines in the marketplace model, not much difference between base active and low active. And we observe that the total amount lent doesn't decline too much into the bank-like model when again the lender is insured, which is reflected into the platform profits. You see that into the scenario where we have more active lenders, the platform loses more profits into the bank-like model. But you see that in the scenario where there are a larger proportion of low active, more risk-averse lenders, the platform is having lower profit. Yes, relatively speaking, it has more profits under the bank-like model vis-a-vis the marketplace model. This is because low active lenders like so much to be insured that are even increasing the amount of money that is lent within the platform, and as a result, profits of the platform tend to increase a lot. So in a situation we have low active lenders and bank-like, everybody is having higher profit vis-a-vis other situations. And this we believe is interesting because also more recently, various platforms are applying, marketplace platforms are applying to get banking licenses. So we believe that our results inform into the regulatory debate on whether we should give these licenses to the platforms, and under what conditions these platforms can be welfare maximizing. So wrapping up, we study the effect of different online debt crowdfunding platform paradigms, the peer-to-peer, the marketplace, and bank-like. We establish few facts, we present few facts. There is a maturity mismatch in portfolio product design. So under this marketplace model, lenders buy a portfolio product that usually has a shorter maturity vis-a-vis the underlying loans. There are welfare effects of different portfolio platform designs which we document. And these welfare effects and how the platform has to be designed in order to maximize them will have important implications for the likely development of a segment.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fabio. Do we have questions from the audience? If not, I would like to thank Fabio, and I would like to take the advantage of me being the chairperson and ask you 2 questions, if you do not mind.
Okay.
So, first of all, thanks again for the fascinating presentation. This is indeed a very, very topical theme that's been greatly debated these days. First of all, I want to ask you a couple of technical questions. So by looking at your regression, I see that I'm not sure if I missed anything. I see in the regression result table, you controlled for channel effects, channel fixed effects, as well as time effects, daily time effects. However, in your regression, just by looking at the subscript, you have channel subscript, you have time subscript, as well as individual subscript. I'm just wondering if there's a reason, if I missed anything, why the individual effect has not been factored in, or if there is any variables that is already capturing the individual heterogeneity.
Individual meaning the lender itself. If you are
Exactly,
using also
yeah.
lender fixed effect. No, that we have it. So we have specification with that. Also because different lenders can participate in different portfolio products.
Exactly.
So the same lender can appear many times on each day. So
exactly.
we also control. Yeah, there are specifications where we also control for that. So
okay, I was just wondering because I did not see in the result. I did not see control for fixed. Okay, so you did conduct a some kind of panel regression where you fixed all those effects, right?
Yeah.
So another question, thanks for that. Another question is on the result where you compare, I believe, marketplace and changes was relative to the base. Okay, where you compare the marketplace and bank-like. That's I'm just referring to the table in the paper, table 8, base liquidity, marketplace, bank-like, and peer-to-peer credit. Your argument of comparison, for example, I'm just taking an example of amount lent, the bank-like model. Sorry, not bank-like. Not amount lent. That is back example. Average maturity preference, for example, is higher with the bank-like model than with a marketplace model. So those kind of comparisons, just from the results, I did not see the significance indication. I'm just wondering if you guys have run significance tests on the differences between the two models.
No, but we haven't done it. We should actually. It's a good point. So you see in any case on the baseline scenario where you know the amount of liquidity risk, the resale time is very small. The economic significances between marketplace model and the bank-like model is very, very small. So even if I find
which is why
statistical, that's I guess why we didn't go into statistical difference to start with. But when we are increasing the resale time, yeah, we should do it actually. That's correct.
Exactly. So, I was wondering because the difference is so small. Yeah. Yeah, good.
But one point is, so when sigma is very small, fundamentally marketplace model and bank-like model are almost the same, which makes sense because the main difference is about resale time. If resale time is about 0, everybody's happy. The important difference is when the resale time starts to become longer and liquidity risk is more severe, then we start to find economically sizable difference. And yeah, you're right. We need to compute a t-stat there.
Great. Yeah, I guess you would get the same comments from peer reviewers anyway. So yeah, that's the two technical questions. I'll just check again if there are more questions from the audience. Otherwise, I would like to just add one more question, if you don't mind, more content related. So I'm not sure if you happen to be aware of recently very hyped lending protocols in the decentralized finance space, such as Aave and Compound. So I don't know if you would like to maybe comment on things that we potentially could learn from decentralized protocols in the blockchain space. If there are models that maybe the centralized platforms could borrow from those spaces. Or,
well, that's a bit
it's more
yeah, and not much into crypto, but our paper is very much about a mismatch on maturities, which I don't think is going to matter much for cryptocurrency. So we will,
I would like to disagree. I would like.
Oh no, that's fine. Good. So.
because I think that would potentially be something that you would also like to look at in the future, because they do have something quite interesting in terms of maturity. Those lending protocols exactly solve this maturity mismatch problem by just not prescribing any maturities at all. So loans would not be siloed, categorized based on maturity. So you can self-collateralize and then borrow some money based on your own collateral, and there is no maturity of your loan at all. So I guess potentially that could be something interesting for future research.
Sorry. Okay, what do you mean there is no maturity? So maturity I can repay back when I want.
You can choose never to pay back. The only thing you have to guarantee is that your loan to value level is
always below a certain threshold.
Otherwise you face liquidation risk. So
Okay, I see.
in the decentralized context, I just
And
thought
that
it
would be
interesting
interesting for me to
know.
see. Yeah,
Exactly.
if you can
Yeah.
refer me to something, I would be happy to read it to learn more.
Yeah, actually, I'm working on this as well, so I'm
Okay,
happy
so
to communicate.
that's fine. So we can talk. Thank you.
Yes, sure. Thank you. Thanks again, Fabio.